Guilty to murder back in February and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Let's bring in our legal panel. Anahita Sedaghatfar is a criminal defense attorney. Phil Snyder is a former prosecutor. So I'm going to start with you first, Phil. If you were arguing this case, the girl is 16 now. She was 14 when her dad was killed. An awful lot of evidence that she conspired with her boyfriend to get the father. She said she was glad that he was dead. Should she be tried as a juvenile or an adult in this case? Anahita, there are obviously big differences in the kind of treatment she can expect if she goes to juvenile court or if she goes to adult court. Lay that out for us.
Yeah, I mean, that's why this hearing is absolutely crucial, because she's being charged with first-degree murder. This isn't just like some simple assault case. So if this remains in the criminal court and she gets convicted, she faces life in prison. But if this gets kicked back to the juvenile court, which is where I think it belongs, then the focus is going to be rehabilitation, and she'll probably be out in a few years. But that's why it's critical also for the defense to focus on the fact that not only is she a little 14-year-old girl, but that she suffers from mental illness. She has a long history of mental illness. She's a schizophrenic. She's been diagnosed with ADD. She has anxiety disorder. So she belongs in a juvenile facility where they can rehabilitate her, where she can be a productive member of society, not in some prison with a bunch of grown adults.
But Phil, I mean, yeah, those things may be the case, but there are a lot of kids, a lot of 14-year-olds with ADD who don't conspire. Suggested that she approved the knife that her boyfriend was going to bring over to the house. She told him she would leave the door unlocked for him. She wanted him to let her know when he was close to the house. I mean, you can't get much more involved in an actual killing than that, Anahita.
Well, the issue here really is we have juvenile courts for a reason, John, and that is because it's established in the medical community that a child's brain isn't fully developed, particularly the part of the brain that can distinguish between right and wrong or can control impulses. So that's why we have a juvenile system, because the issue is, can these kids be rehabilitated? Of course, this was a gruesome crime, but if she didn't have the mental capacity to formulate the intent, to know what she was doing, wouldn't it be better for her to go at this young age, get treatment, get medication for her illnesses so that she can come back into society?
There's no proof that she didn't have the mental capacity in this case. And that's why Maryland specifically carves out an exception for a murder that's punishable by life in prison or death, that if you're over the age of 14, any individual over the age of 14 would qualify for this enhanced penalty to go to adult court. It's this individual based on this heinous act and the fact that it was so calculated.
Right?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, that's a rebuttable presumption. But that's a rebuttable presumption.
That's why there's going to be a transfer hearing.
Right. And that's exactly why the defense is going to have to make these arguments for their client. Look, they don't want their client to get convicted in a criminal court. She faces life in prison here. So that's why this hearing is absolutely crucial.
Anahita, what about the boyfriend, though? I mean, I was a teenage boy once, and I know when a teenage girl asks you to do something, that's all you want to do is make them happy. This kid was 16 years old, had mental problems of his own. He's doing 30 years. Why should she not be subjected to the same kind of treatment?
That's definitely what the prosecution is going to argue in this case. And obviously, look, I'm not defending the crime here. All I'm saying is the issue is, should this child be treated as an adult? I'm not saying she shouldn't be punished. I'm not saying she shouldn't go through the criminal court system. But my position is that she really belongs in a juvenile court, not in a criminal court where she's going to be in jail with a bunch of other convicted felons. How is that going to benefit society in any way?
Well, Phil, I guess the reverse could be asked of him.
Sure, the doctors are going to come in. I'm sure they're going to make the arguments. But at the end of the day, when you look at the factors, the seriousness of the crime and is she a danger to the community, the answer in those cases is an emphatic yes. And I think for that reason, the court will try her as an adult.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there.
Don't forget.
I'm sorry, Anahita, we have to leave it there. Running out of time, but good discussion, and we'll certainly let our viewers know what happens in this case. Anahita Sedaghatfar and Phil Snyder, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,